So I got involved in a variety of activities throughout my 4 years at Queen's. I did street law, Erasmus, Inspiring Leaders. I was a peer mentor, and I was also a consent ambassador and a project choice ambassador as well. So I suppose street law I got involved in first year. It's a program that is run by the law school, where law students are able to work with a charity or a community organisation, or it might be a secondary school, for example. And you can work alongside those organisations, and you are kind of teaching them about a topic of law that they might not know about. So that was really interesting. It's obviously like pro bono and volunteering experience, which was really good when I was in first year to get involved in. I got involved in peer mentoring then in second year, just mentoring incoming first year students to the law school, kind of supporting them through that transition from A levels in secondary school to studying law at undergraduate level at Queen's. And then in final year, I got involved with Inspiring Leaders through the Student Union. And there's 2 pathways with Inspiring Leaders. So you can do a residential weekend, I think, and then you can do kind of just a weekend course. So it involved going to Riddle Hall and doing a whole day of activities with a variety of different people, which was really, really interesting as well. I think it really has. I think all of my experiences combined together, for which I got Degree Plus, has definitely helped me get where I am. It's something that I always talk about in applications. There are things that I can draw different transferable skills that I picked up and learned from, and I can talk about those in applications, and I can talk about them in interviews, and they even help me now in my current degree and pathway. So I think that they're definitely beneficial. I think probably one of the biggest ones would be confidence. I went to Queen's alone. I didn't know anyone. I was the only person from my school. So I was kind of, and I come from a really small town and a really small background. So I was kind of, in the big city. So getting these experiences with people from all different backgrounds, from all different countries, and getting to do the types of things that I did, for Erasmus, for example, in final year, which was obviously moving to a different country again. I learned a lot about myself. So I think it's definitely made me more confident in who I am and who I want to be, which has kind of put me where I am now because of these experiences. So I think the main one would probably be confidence, and then linked to that is probably my communication skills. As I said, you're working with a variety of different people. Street law, we were working with NIACRO, which is a community organisation that works with former prisoners. So that was obviously a great experience, and it's with working with people you might not meet in your typical everyday life. So I think that those are probably my 2 main things that I've definitely gained from my Degree Plus activities. I think there are so many benefits. I think my study abroad experience taught me, how to be resilient, how to be self-sufficient. You have to work on your own initiative. You're moving to a different country you might have never been before. You have to source your own accommodation. So you're doing that all by yourself. You're moving there by yourself. You're going to classes in a new environment, trying to make friends. So you're gaining a lot of maturity as well. I think that there's the benefits. And then in terms of employment, like communication skills as well. You're learning, communicating with people from different countries all over Europe or all over the world, which is really, really good. And then confidence again. Yeah, there's so many benefits from studying abroad. I think I'm a massive advocate for it. I would say to get stuck in. I know it can be daunting when you're in these new environments, especially when you go to Queen's, but getting stuck in can help you on your transition when you are just starting at university. These types of activities are where you do meet people that are at Queen's too, and where you form these connections with other students, but also, with staff members, for example, and then other, like I said, organizations, which obviously are all so helpful for the future. There's so many activities I got involved in that I was able to build connections with people who I still talk to now back at Queen's, and it's really good to have that, foster those connections for when you move on from Queen's and you start your professional career. So anyone who's starting Queen's, I would say definitely just try and get stuck in, because you will learn so much about yourself from it. But I think the application form is a really good chance as well to reflect on what you've done, because there's so many times when you do these kinds of things, you just do it and you never really think that you have picked up much from it. You might be doing it just because you enjoy it, or some people might just do it, purely to enhance their CV. But with the application form, you look back and when you're answering the questions, you're kind of just like, well, you know what, I really did learn so much about my teamwork skills when I did that, or I really did develop this skill when I did that. So I think it's a really good reflective process. Your mentoring is completely different from something like Inspiring Leaders or Erasmus, because the skills that you do get from it are completely different, but they make you a more well-rounded person, which is obviously really good when you get out into the job market or onto your next educational step, whether it be higher study. So I think it's really good too to not box yourself in, because so many people can kind of just stick to one thing, and then you're kind of like in an echo chamber and you really narrow yourself. Whereas if you have all these different activities, then when it comes to the future, you have so many different experiences that you can draw on, and different skills that you can pick from each one to use as examples in, application forms and things like that. So I think it is good to kind of broaden your horizons rather than keep them one narrow focus. Mm-hmm. When it comes to application forms and things, like, sometimes I think people compare themselves a lot to other people. If you look them up and stuff, and you see, oh, they have all these awards, and I'm just this kind of graduate, what do I have, kind of thing. But it's like, no, well, you have degree plus, and that's an award, and that's an accreditation that you have earned. So it's something that you can definitely use, and something that is a strength to you as a candidate, because of all those experiences that you did, which got you the accreditation in the first place. So I think it's definitely something that that you could be proud of, because you're awarded it. So yeah, I think the value of it is honestly really, really good, really high. So other people then as well, that just makes you look like more of a well-rounded person, because these days especially, I feel like companies or wherever it may be, they want more than just someone who is so educated, like education focused, because you could have the best grades in the world and that's great, but what does that say about your personality or your people skills or your teamwork skills? But when you come with something like degree plus, and then it gives you something to talk about, like, oh, what is this? And then oh, I did this, and this involved this, so that kind of thing. So I think, yeah, the value is really, really good.